All right, in section 2, we're going to talk about graphs of functions, and more particularly, we're going to talk about the parent functions, their general equation, and then what their graph would look like. So our first parent function is the constant function. So its general equation is just y equals c, where c is some real number. And then the graph is just a horizontal line going through some y value. Our second parent function is the linear parent function. So its general equation is just y equals x, and then its graph, the linear equation going through the origin. Next, we have the absolute value equation. Its general equation is y equals absolute value of x. The absolute value equation is just a V-shaped graph going through the origin. Our square function, which you can also think of as a quadratic, general equation is y equals x squared. And its graph is very similar to the absolute value, except that it is U-shaped. It has a curved bottom instead of a pointed one. Next, we have our cubic function, whose general equation is y equals x cubed. Its graph is different. It is got a curve to it, but still going through the origin. All of our parent functions, their graph always goes to the origin. Next, we have the square root function, which is y equals the square root x. And it looks like half of a sideways parabola. Our cube root function is y equals cube root of x. Similar to that of a square root function, it is a sideways cubic function. And then our last graph is the reciprocal function. You can also think of it, also referred to as our rational function. So that's where our variable is the denominator, and its general equation is y equals 1 over x. And its graph actually has two parts. So these are our parent functions, their general equations, and then what their graphs resemble. And it's the general shape every graph has. And you can always transform each of these parent functions up, down, left or right, wider, reflect it, make it narrower, but they all come from these general equations listed here. And we'll talk more about what we can do with these functions later.